No, please. I am doing my work just as you are doing your work, sir. Talk to me. I'm listening. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Just speak to me. I'm listening. I am listening. So, police are ensuring law and order at the collation center, and they are putting up their best foot forward and ensuring that nothing untoward happens. At this moment, the two men are still waiting to go through the necessary checks with the police before they proceed to do the service on the parties. Now, to do a quick recap, this collation of the Nsawam Adoagyiri constituency started yesterday together with 3 other constituencies, the Suhum constituency, Fantiakwa North, and Akwetia, and the Suhum, Fantiakwa North, and that of Akwetia were collated and declared. It was left with only the Nsawam Adoagyiri constituency, and that the parties saw 82 pink sheets to have errors on the face of those pink sheets. So they decided to commence the recollation by resolving the necessary errors today, which is at 6 a.m. The Electoral Commission officer got here, and the parties, the NDC, NPP, who are the major stakeholders, also joined the Electoral Commission to begin the process of recollation of the results. They started initially, they managed to do some 15 early in the morning, only for the process to halt over a bit of chaos that broke out. But we were here when Rashid Tanko Computer came with an information that the EC has called for an emergency IPAC meeting, and so the process should halt for all the parties to go for that emergency meeting, only for him to be subjected to prove that he should, provide evidence suggesting that an IPAC meeting has indeed been called by the Electoral Commission. Justin Kodia, the General Secretary of the NPP, subjected him to that proof, which he couldn't provide. But within a very short period, he came up with another, letter on his phone indicating that they've secured a court injunction basically on the Nsawam Adoagyiri constituency collation, and so no one from the Electoral Commission as well as the NPP should continue with the collation that is happening. So generally, we see dozens of police personnel present, and they are here in their numbers with crash barriers, basically waiting to ensure that they enforce law and order. There was a point in time where some NDC and NPP men, threw blows at each other, but the police were quick enough to, quickly take out the NPP person out of the collation center, and that brought a bit of calm to the center. Earlier, we saw the majority leader, Honorable Afenyo Marken, present at the collation center. We are not on praise here. Obiamwa is present. We see the EC Deputy Director for the Eastern region still present on the ground, and he's been here since yesterday, and he's been trying to engage with. So still, those are live visuals. Those are live visuals from the collation center here at the Tesano Police Training School, and it is expected that a number of other constituencies would come here for the necessary collation or recollation to be done, because according to information, the EC says those constituencies had unresolved issues, and so they wanted them to come and be under security guidance to proceed to do the recollation. The men are still there with the police. They are waiting for the necessary clearance before they can serve the parties. Now, at this moment, the Electoral Commission has stopped the collation. Nothing is happening at this moment, and generally we see that the place is calm. Gentlemen, I mean, you are one of the party agents for the NDC, I guess.
Yes, NDC.
What's your full name?
My name is Ephraim Ni Tan, national NDC.
Oh, good. What is your business at the desk?
I'm currently an agent over here, a collation agent.
Tell us how the collation has been so far and why has everything come to a standstill?
Okay, yeah, we started the process, and then along the line, we realized that the statement of poll, what people call pink sheets, that the EC was giving, we realized that one of them was tampered with. It means they changed some information on the pink sheet. So we protested, but our officer said, look, we can proceed with other ones, leaving this particular one, the one that has problem. So we left that one and we proceeded with the issue, with the rest. Then later on, we heard that there is a court injunction that has been served at EC, the head office. But the police officer over here, a woman over here, said...
You mean the CID director?
She said, so long as the injunction has not been served on the officers over here, but rather the head office, she cannot work with it. So she will not accept that. They even gave her a copy of it. She said, no, so long as there is no hard copy here, she will not accept it. Now the bailiff is here to serve the EC, the returning officer here. Here too, she's preventing the bailiff from serving them over here too. And I'm surprised from day one, this particular CID.
Let's not veer into that. I want us to focus on the substance of the issue. Now, there were 82 pink sheets that were left for you to proceed with this morning. You started with the 82, then suddenly these whole issues are coming up. What's the way forward on the 82?
Well, and that decision will be taken by the courts. Since there is an injunction, we'll wait until...
What errors did you detect on the face of those pink sheets? That's what I mean.
Some of those, as I said, some of the pink sheets that they brought have been tampered with. They changed some information on the pink sheets. So those changes, we protested against those changes. That is why a court injunction has been served on them. After protesting, they still went ahead to continue with. They still went ahead with.
There was this particular pink sheet that you allege that the EC had different figures, while the NDC and NPP they have consistent figures. In this case, why don't you move with what the parties have and leaving that of the EC if you are contesting that?
It's, the parties, if it is the parties that determine who wins, we would have done that determination on our own. I would have come out and say and announce the results. It is the duty of EC to determine who to help us in doing the collation. And the information that they have, the pink sheet that they are bringing, have been tampered with. They've changed some of the information on the pink sheets. So how do we even trust you? How do we even trust the rest? Because some of our pink sheets...
Did you do your own internal collation?
Yes, we did.
And what was it pointing to?
Pointing to a win.
Of what margin?
Well, I cannot tell you the exact margin, but we know very well that we have won.
By what percentage?
That is what I'm saying, telling you that I cannot ask, because I don't have the information right here with me. I cannot tell you that this is the margin.
But you have a fair idea in terms of total number of votes people won. By what total number? In your estimation.
You are just repeating. I don't have to give any estimation which will turn out to be untrue. That is why I'm telling you that it points out that we are winning. Good.
I want to thank you very much for speaking to us. So generally, the place is currently calm. The police are standing by, waiting to ensure that there is absolute law and order at the center. And so generally, that calm has been restored. The only thing we are waiting for currently has to do with the said bailiff serving the injunction notice on Mr. Anodompre and the EC officials who are on the ground working. And that is what brought about the situation. But as we speak, they are with the police officers. ACP Abbas, I think, he is engaging them to ensure that those are really men from the court and they are not assuming to be representing the court in whatever they are here to do at this moment. I don't know, the bailiff, I wonder if they would want to say a word, but they are still being held up here, waiting patiently to serve their notice. Chief, are they not going to allow you in?
They are preventing them, report it. They
No,
show the cameras.
you not tell me what to report, Mr. Tanko. You've not, what are you having to do with the police at this moment? You are not willing to say anything. Thank you. So, what must I see to know is a bailiff? Well, he may not be. I've spoken to a bailiff before on record, so I know very well that some bailiffs do speak when there is the need for them to speak. So generally, they are holding documents. They won't speak to me, but I don't know if they would want me to even see what is on the face of. Well, anyway, that's for the NDC because it's in their interest. So they would want, obviously, to say that those are the bailiff from the court. So generally, the place is quite calm at this moment. The situation is such that the place is calm. The NDC are here. Rashid Tanko, computer, the legal leadership of the NDC, they are here. I mean, it's been a long while I've seen you around. First, introduce yourself to our viewers.
Well, my name is Broja Jemfi. I'm the Deputy Director for Special Duties.
Oh, okay. And how has the special duties been so far?
Oh, it's been very smooth. You can see from the end. The results show the kind of work we have put into this election.
And if they say special duties, basically, what specifically do you do?
Well, there are duties that are special.
Anyway,
Nothing
anyway, so you've come to the Collation Center just like the NPP are here in their numbers. What really, in terms of special duties, will you be doing here?
Well, we have come to observe as national officers. We have seen what is going on, the sudden machinations by the NPP. And so as national officers, we have a duty to observe exactly what is going on. And that's mainly why we are here. And I'm saddened that the police has shut out the media far away from observing what is going on at the collation table. I don't know the interest of the police.
But I am here with you, so they've not really...
Yes, you can see the barricade. If your cameras...
I am here with
yes,
you.
I'm saying that I can see your other colleagues. I can see, you see the man is preventing this. I don't know which media house he's from.
That's Metro TV.
That's Metro
anyway,
TV.
But,
and you
but
see
that's
that
not
he's
the
engaging
substance
with
of what
the
I want
police.
us to engage
No,
on.
I'm just trying to let you know
Mm-hmm.
that the police appear to have taken a stand with the NPP here because there are court officers who have come here to serve a process on the EC and the NPP candidates. These persons have been prevented, and you can see that the police CID is the one who is controlling affairs. You see, they are sneaking him out so that the bailiffs cannot.
So what we see is that the incumbent MP is being escorted by two police officers to leave the collation center, and that is the concern the NDC.
So that the officers cannot serve him. You see what the police is doing? There are court officers here. The police are aiding persons to evade court process from being served on them. How can the police do that? How can the police do that?
So the court bailiffs are now leaving at this moment because they are here. They were here basically to serve the Honorable Anodompre, but the police managed to sneak him out of the collation center, and so the court bailiffs are now leaving, and that is the concern being raised by the NDC.
He is being escorted. Anodompre, who is to be served by the court bailiff, has been escorted out by the police. And we have just seen him walking out there. And he's been aided by the officer in charge of this place. I am going to get appropriate response from my boss for this. This is the security we are dealing with here.
Very partisan.
Very partisan.
Very
If some people want to be party officers, they should remove their uniform and go and join the
Well, those are, wild allegations though. But what I have seen is that two police officers escorted the incumbent MP for Nsawam Adoagyiri, Frank Anodompre, out of the collation center, and the bailiffs were left with no option than to also leave the collation center. So as we speak, the honorable MP is out of this place, and Rashid Tanko is saying that they will be here and would ensure that nothing goes on as far as the collation of the Nsawam Adoagyiri constituency is concerned. And so generally the people here are not happy at all with happenings generally. But in all of this, the NPP remains very calm. They are not really perturbed about what is happening. They've seen that the MP for Nsawam Adoagyiri has been escorted out of this particular location. As to where he's heading to, we have no idea. Now we see the General Secretary of the NPP. We've seen the General Secretary of the NPP having that conversation with him.
So the bishop just sat down and allow another player to leave this place in this enclosed area. At where? Where did he pass? Where did he pass? Oh, it's not true. It's not true. My brother, it's not true.
But it was here when I came. He has run away. You will get him anywhere he go. We will get him. He can run, but he can't hide.
So it's been banter between the NPP and NDC, and they are basically saying that they would ensure that they stay here until the MP is served, and they would make sure nothing as far as the Nsawam Adoagyiri collation continues at this center. Now, there's nothing happening on the desk where the collation was taking place before the bailiff came in. They've all stopped their activities at this moment. The screen that was also projecting the results collated so far has also been turned off. The computer has also been turned off. And so the returning officer is far away in the corner there, looking on his phone, while the data entry clerk, the man behind the computer, has gone to join him to sit and have a conversation. So in the corner right there is where we have the returning officer for the Nsawam Adoagyiri constituency, as well as the data entry clerk, who were basically behind the pink sheets and his collation since yesterday till this morning. Generally, the fact remains, the Honorable Frank Anodompre is out of this place now. He can't be served unless maybe the bailiffs find him at a different location to do the necessary service on him. And this remains your election bureau. The hashtag is Ghana Polls 2024 across all social media handles, on radio, on TV. We are bringing you live coverage of happenings at the collation center. Now, there are other constituencies expected to come in. Let me quickly give you a brief of those constituencies that are expected to come in. They have the Ahafo Ano Southwest constituency, the Ahafo Ano the Ano North constituency, and then there are other constituencies. So about 4 different coalitions aside the Nsawam ones are expected to take place here in this hall. How things will pan out, we are waiting patiently to and bring all the live feed for our cherished viewers back at home and in your offices, wherever you find yourself across the globe. We are streaming online as well, so you can't really miss anything as far as the collation of all those constituencies are concerned. All these things started when the EC chairperson, Madam Jean Mensah, in declaration of the presidential results some 2 days after the election, indicated that there are 9 constituencies outstanding for which she is expecting that those issues will be resolved and the results declared, as and when it is carried out. The allegation was that their officers didn't feel safe at various constituency collation centers. A number of them were subjected to beatings, allegedly, and others were under duress to declare election results in favor of certain candidates. That did not really go down well with the opponents or political parties that the whole declaration didn't favor, and so the EC asked that all collations be headed to or sent to Accra for recollation and declaration. So people all the way from the eastern region came here yesterday. 3 were cleared, left with 1 in Nsawam Adoagyiri. Now people from the Bono region are coming here. Ashanti region are also making their way to this place for the collation under heightened security surveillance, and that is generally the situation as far as the 2024 general elections are concerned. Election ended on December 7. It took the Electoral Commission about 2 days to make its declaration of results. The president, that is the returning officer, the EC, did the presidential declaration, and the constituency declaration is left to the returning officers at the constituency levels. So situations where chaos broke out at those constituencies where the EC feels their men and women are not safe, they've been asked to leave those areas. So, for instance, for the Eastern Region Coalition, which has to do with Nsawam, Suhum, Fantiakwa North, and Akwetia, they went all the way to the regional capital in Koforidua to do the collation. That was also unsuccessful, and so they were asked to move to Accra, being the capital of Ghana, to do the collation. And ever since that exercise started yesterday, 3 constituencies turned blue, which ordinarily the NDC is laying claim to, that they managed to flip. And these constituencies are also in the strongholds of the New Patriotic Party. So it baffles the New Patriotic Party as to why, so close, matching in terms of the results, if care is not taken, and people are subjected to, violence declarations, that in effect would not augur well for Ghana's democracy. And so they believe that in an atmosphere like this with security presence, the EC would have its peace of mind to proceed to do their collation and declaration. But I can say that hasn't really turned out to be so, because this place, no one really tends to get intimidated in any way. The moment they feel something want to infringe on their rights or, turn something against their interest, they will rise and make their voices heard. They would ensure that pink sheets with errors in front on the surface of it are isolated for subsequent revisit. And so 82 pink sheets from the Nsawam constituency were isolated yesterday. I left here this dawn at 2 a.m., went home, took my shower, and came back this morning thinking that the 82 would have been a smooth sailing where parties would quickly agree on issues and then we make progress. But no, it is past 10 a.m. Per my clock. It is now 11 o'clock on the dot, and nothing. They've not really advanced as expected. The majority leader was here. They all agreed, did a gentleman agreement that when they come today, they would make sure that things move faster so they can make room for other constituencies to have their space to do the recollation and declaration of results. But, well, as long as one party feels aggrieved with anything on the face of the pink sheet or any entry made, they will raise their concerns. They will make sure it is ironed out and the situations normalize before they take the next step to the next pink sheet to ensure that they, take the issues case by case and no one will be cheated in this whole exercise. In meaning you can't really cheat anyone when you are eating yam. That said, it means you pick one, I pick one, you pick one, I pick one. So generally, this is the situation. And so the police are just also saying that they've not raised concerns. Well, I am trying to hear what the director of CID is saying. Now, the majority leader is back, and the director of CID is basically waiting. Let's see what is happening here.
I want you to see it. Look, and look at the time.
So she's trying to prove them wrong that she never called anyone to make any report that she's preventing anyone from.
He said even if you serve them, it's an injunction application, so we should go ahead. That's what I said.
Who said? You said so.
Oh.
You said that they should continue because you are a lawyer. You told me. It's an injunction.
Where is it?
The preventive service. They prevent. You know.
Nobody has prevented service.
Oh, you know. You saw it. We saw it.
Well, so the confusion and the allegation is now against the director of CID. The NDC is alleging that the director of CID prevented service on the parties, but the NDC is also saying that no, she indeed did it, and that is the allegation against her. And the chaos continues. Don't touch me. You can talk to me. I'll hear you. Don't touch me. Thank you. Thank you. So the situation is that the police. Yes, that's what I'm telling you.
Baba, they say you go back to
I won't move. I won't move. You can't prevent the media from doing its work. You are doing your work. So the police are generally saying that the media should isolate and not film what is happening and what is going on. So you are filming me. I am reporting for Channel 1 TV. My name is Fred Duho, and generally what is happening on the ground is that there is a bit of confusion where the NDC is making allegations, and majority leader is now demanding that a soft copy of the court injunction is given to him so he can he can also peruse same and then decide on the way forward. Now, that engagement has been going on for the past few minutes. The NDC as against the NPP, and they don't seem to have any common grounds of consensus, generally raising voices at each other, saying that they won't allow for the process to continue at the collation center. And the General Secretary of the NPP is present, and the mom. I'm doing live reporting on TV, so the situation remains that the confusion is ongoing. Do not touch me. Do not touch me. Do not touch me. So generally, the situation remains that they are still having that banter, and they are engaging to know how best. Do not touch me. Thank you very much. So generally, that is the situation on the ground here. The police are preventing the media from doing their coverage as mandated. For transparency's sake, the media is on the ground trying to ensure that everything here is done in that free, fair, and transparent manner. But the police are trying as much as possible to prevent the media from doing its work. The director of CID is present, having a conversation with the parties. The NDC and PP are present, and the situation is that the majority leader is demanding to see the soft copy of the injunction that was supposed to be served on the Honorable Anodompre at the Collation Center. Let's hear what is going on.
Bossman is an MPP. No, Bossman is not. Let me tell you, on the 8th,
well, so they do the debate and then they progress to the next level where they laugh about some of the situations happening here. But it's been one accusation to the other. The NPP accuses the NDC, NDC does same to the NPP, and these twins keep, for a lack of a better word, they keep sending the wrong signal to their team supporters out there. And this really is the situation. They debate, they come back to laugh, they debate the issues, they come back to laugh, and this is what has been happening at the center. The NDC is saying that no one dares continues with the collation exercise. If they dare try anything like that, they would also ensure that it doesn't go on. As to whatever means they would use. Nana, Fred, I can hear you.
So, in all this, where is the Deputy Eastern Regional EC Director? Is he present? Has he acknowledged service of this injunction by the NDC?
Nana, because of the loud noise, I am finding it difficult to hear you. But if you are asking about the Deputy EC Director from the Eastern region, I would say I have not seen him around. I am trying my possible best to see if he's present. But at this moment, I can't see. Okay, I've just spotted him behind the cameraman.
Very well.
And he's on phone, having a conversation with someone. So generally, he's in the hall now, having a conversation over the phone.
Right. Now, let's trace back and bring our viewers up to speed regarding this Nsawam Adoagyiri matter. Yesterday, there were 4 constituencies: Fantiakwa North, Akwetia, and Suhum.
I'm struggling to hear you.
Right, Fred, is it better if you can hear me now? I want us to trace back the issues so our viewers can better appreciate the progress of the collation exercise up until this point, where the NDC says it has secured an injunction to halt the process. As of yesterday, there were 4 constituencies: Fantiakwa North, Suhum, Akwetia, and Nsawam Adoagyiri. 3 were completed and declared in favor of the NPP. We know that there was an agreement between the parties and the EC last night to halt the process and continue this morning at 6 a.m. Between that 12 a.m. and 6 a.m. where we went off, kindly help us understand the events that occurred between that time frame.
Nana, when I got here some few minutes after 6, I was told that they've been able to collate about 15 out of the 82 pink sheets that were left yesterday. And so they were hoping to continue with that process. There were concerns about the fact that the EC's original pink sheet had different figure from what the NDC and NPP had from a particular polling center. And so that was contested and the pink sheet was flagged. Going forward, they agreed to now proceed with the rest of the pink sheets when Rashid Tanko Computer came in with the message indicating that the EC had invited all parties for an emergency IPAC meeting, but generally he was asked to prove that because the General Secretary of the NPP is present, and he asked him where is the invitation to that effect. He couldn't prove it, but within a space of 5 minutes there was another information that the process has been injuncted in the court, and so they cannot progress with the coalition. So as we speak, it's been the issue regarding the collation and the injunction for that matter that we've been dealing with for the past 30 minutes, and that the NDC says they will not agree for the process to continue. The Honorable Adoagyiri was present throughout the morning. He was waiting patiently for the collation to be done and declaration done, but it turned out that when the information came that he's been injuncted by the court, he had no option than to also pause. He sat here for some few minutes, and we saw that 2 police officers aided him out of the collation center, and that really the NDC was not happy about, and they expressed their dissatisfaction with the fact that the police is aiding them in whatever they are doing, and so they allege that the police is compromised in that regard. The police director of CID debunked that, indicating that she's never done that and that she's basically here to enforce law and order. The mere fact that the place is so noisy and turned out to be a bit chaotic, she doesn't feel that it is okay for the MP to be present, looking at the circumstances surrounding or the atmosphere in which he finds himself. And so the MP for the Nsawam Adoagyiri, and who is also the parliamentary candidate for that same constituency, was escorted out of the collation center. And that is where we are currently, as at some few minutes past 11.
It'll be interesting to find out what the EC's position is regarding this matter. I'm asking because if there hasn't been a service, in the absence of the service, then collation must continue. And so it will be interesting to find out what the EC's position is on the matter. But while we are waiting to hear from the EC, general conduct of the party executives, agents, and officials present, what has it been like so far?
Maybe I should start with what the EC's position would be. National Democratic Congress, the EC has been served at the headquarters. It behoves on the EC to now call their men on the ground to stop whatever they are doing, because so far as they are served at the top, it must trickle down to their worksmen on the ground. And so as we speak, all the EC officers, even though they've not received any formal letter or communication, I do not know whether the Deputy Regional Director for the Eastern Region has received any phone call to that effect though, but I can say that the EC has stopped the collation, and they are waiting patiently for the next line of action. Now, to the second question that has to do with the general conduct in the place, because the NDC is the one serving the court injunction on the parties, they are basically asking that they will be here until the process comes to a total stop. So generally, they say they are not going to move an inch from this hall because they know that they've served the EC and their worksmen and this injunction. It is left with only the Honorable Frank Adoagyiri, who is supposed to be served before he was whisked away by the 2 policemen, generally because according to NDC's allegation, the police were trying to aid him out of the place to avoid service from the court.
Right now, regarding the 2 gentlemen who had come to the center to serve the process on the Honorable Adoagyiri, these gentlemen, are they still with you there?
They've left the moment they saw the Honorable Adoagyiri escorted out of the collation center. In effect, they have no business at the collation center. They only found out where the honorable member was so they could move in to serve him. And so they got information probably through the NDC's direction that the honorable member is at the collation center. So the bailiffs came to the collation center with the intention to serve them. What we saw is that the police prevented the bailiffs from moving further to where the honorable member was. And for within the space of 5 minutes, all we saw was that the two police officers aided the honorable member out of the collation center, and then the bailiffs, they have no business doing here, so they also walked out. Whether they managed to serve the honorable member outside the collation center, that we've not really received yet. But the majority leader, Afenyo Makin, he is demanding for the soft copy at least to peruse what the injunction is all about. Maybe he may want to advise his colleague, the Honorable Anodompre, to probably allow the court to, take its full course with regards to the service that was filed by the NDC.
All right, Fred, thank you so much. Just stay put. We'll be coming back to you pretty shortly. We want to take viewers to the national headquarters of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, because the party's national chairman, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, is about to address the press regarding the recollation of disputed parliamentary results in the just ended 2024 general elections. Now, we know that there's been disputes over parliamentary results in constituencies such as Ablekuma North, Okaikwe Central, Tema Central. Throughout yesterday and today, we've seen the recollation of results for Suhum, Akwetia, Fantiakwa, and of course what we've just been reporting on the confusion surrounding that of the Nsawam Adoagyiri recollation. Nsawam Adoagyiri had 203 polling stations. As at last night, when we were going to bed, 121 pink sheets from the polling stations had been recollated, with 82 that had been flagged. And it is this 82 that is the bone of contention as it is now. Let's take you to the national headquarters of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, and let's hear what the party has to say regarding the ongoing recollation of parliamentary results.
We are live on Ahonto FM. We are live on TV XYZ. We are live on Radio Gold. We are live on Power FM. We are live on TV3, live on GH1, Metro TV, Wazo TV, Class FM, Atinka FM, Joy News, Citi TV, Channel 1, and Pan-African TV. If we acknowledge any other TV station broadcasting live, we will acknowledge before the presser ends. Without much ado, we invite the national chairman to give the address to the nation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deputy National Communications Officer. Good morning again, ladies and gentlemen of the media. Let me also commend you for your prompt response to our invitation to address the nation through you, in spite of the short notice. We have decided to if you like, go slow on addressing the media so that we don't inflame passions and tensions that usually attend elections such as the one we've just gone through. But it seems to us that our silence is being taken advantage of by both the Electoral Commission and the New Patriotic Party to continue with the impunity they have been known for the past 8 years. The subject of today's presser has to do with what is happening at the police training school in Tesano. Some people call it Recollation, some people call it collation, and so on. But whatever name you call rose, it will still smell sweet. And a decorated donkey still remains an ass. It cannot be turned into a horse. We in the NDC believe that what is happening at the police training amounts to illegality. It is not founded on any laws of our elections. Neither is it based on any consensus that has been reached between the parties and the Electoral Commission. And so we want to inform the nation and to give notice to any officials of the Commission and the police who are involved in the perpetration of that illegality, to know that there could be consequences of their actions in future. We know the process of our elections is quite clear. After voting, votes are counted and the results entered on what we call the result declaration forms, or the pink sheet, and the presiding officer at the polling station proceeds to announce the outcomes at the polling stations, after which all party agents sign and then are given copies of the results. The reason is that everybody will be having the same figures simultaneously. That is one of the most important checks in our elections. And that is why we always say that elections are won or lost at polling stations. Now, after what has been declared at the polling station, the law requires the presiding officer to paste a copy of the results declared at the polling station at the place where the election took place. And then, after all these declarations have been done at the various polling stations, then the parties, together with the Electoral Commission, will now meet at a constituency collation center, where the originals of the results declared at the polling station, which will be in the possession of the Electoral Commission, will be produced, and tallies are made out of that EC copies. But to check that EC itself will not play games, all the participating parties will have their collation agents at the collation center, and they will come there with copies of each of the polling station results, so that when the EC collation, constituency collation officer mentions a polling station by name and code and mention the figures, then all the parties that have copies of the pink sheets will now verify and check whether the figures on their copies of the pink sheet tally with what the Electoral Commission is mentioning. This provision is a check on the Electoral Commission officers so that they themselves cannot perpetrate fraud during the elections. Now, after we all agree on the figures as mentioned, because if everything is right, all the figures must tally, because the pink sheets are filled in quadruplicate, duplicate, quintuplicate, or whatever the case may be, depending on the number of candidates. So everybody will have the same copy. So the moment figures change and you find parties holding different documents with different tallies of votes, then there is a big problem. And that problem cannot be pinned on a single political party, because the same way political parties are capable of perpetrating fraud, the Electoral Commission officers also are capable of perpetrating the same fraud. So you need to find a way of looking at it so that you can identify who did the wrong thing. But whatever happens, at the end of the collation at the constituency collation centers, the results are entered also on the collation sheet and are signed and certified and pronounced upon by the returning officer. And in our elections, in our general elections, you have two categories of returning officers. The returning officer for parliamentary elections and the returning officer for presidential elections. And they alone have exclusive powers to pronounce the outcomes of the elections, and nobody else. That is why it takes the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, who is the designated returning officer for presidential elections, to pronounce on the presidential elections. No other person can pronounce on the presidential elections apart from the chairperson of the Electoral Commission. In much the same way, at the constituency level, the law mandates only the returning officer in the constituency to pronounce on the outcomes of the parliamentary elections in those respective constituencies. No other person. The chairperson in Accra of the Electoral Commission cannot pronounce the outcomes of the parliamentary elections in any constituency. The regional directors of the EC cannot pronounce on the outcome of constituency elections, even though they may be superior officers to the constituency returning officers. The district officers, if they are not designated as returning officers, cannot announce or declare the results of parliamentary elections. Because returning officers, while they are designated before the election, they are sworn in that they will speak the truth and declare everything. So those returning officers who are being who are claiming that they have declared one set of results in the constituency, and now they are claiming before their bosses that they were they declared those resources under duress, so they are now going to declare another set of results. They know they may be on the wrong side of the law in future. And so what we are seeing in police training depot, we tried to find out what was happening there, because that meeting was called without any discussions with us as leadership of the National Democratic Congress. We're just here when we heard that our Electoral Commission and the police have decided that the outstanding, what they call outstanding constituencies, or constituencies where there appear to be some conflicts, they are inviting all of them to come and do collation and recollation. For some of us, when we were asked by our officials in the constituencies, we told them plainly that we didn't have any notice about it and we are not involved. In fact, I advised some of them not to appear, because what is going to happen there has no basis in any of our electoral laws. Now, checking from the police about what was happening there, we were told that the Electoral Commission had informed or misinformed the police that the political parties have come together through consensus that we must establish this center at the police training school and then bring all the areas under contention for these issues to be addressed. And we said that sorry, because we tried to find out why would the police accept to protect people who are engaged in some illegality to go about their business. And this was what they told us. We have since told them that we are not part of it. We have never discussed any of these things with the Electoral Commission anywhere. And so we, whilst monitoring, we heard yesterday that Fantiakwa North constituency, whose results had been collated and declared at Begro, had now been recollated at police training depot and declared by somebody who is other than the returning officer. Yeah, in fact, it doesn't amount to redeclaration, because the person who was forced to declare at Tesano is not the designated person who has power or authority to declare any results of Fantiakwa at all.
In fact, he was standing by when the returning officer declared.
Mm-hmm. So, and that person was standing by the returning officer in Begro when the returning officer was declaring the results. And then he is now invited to come and redeclare. And I'm not surprised. You know, it reminds me about your drama in Parliament, where Mr. Speaker presides and takes a decision, and then the following day MPP forces a deputy speaker to go and reverse the decision of the speaker. So this is the hallmarks of MPP's impunity. So we don't want to, engage in anything that will escalate tensions. So we have proceeded to court and have applied to injunct the process that is going on there. And we hope we are putting the Electoral Commission and all other people involved in that illegality on notice that what they are doing amounts to an illegality. If they choose to proceed, then they will be ready for the consequences. The staff of the commission who are engaged in this illegality, there will be consequences for them in future. And let me also advise some other influential people in society. I hear that in some places, chiefs are involving themselves in this electoral process and putting pressure on commission officers not to proceed to do their work according to law. We are also advising Nananom that it is for very good reasons that the Constitution provides that Nananom should not be involved in active partisan politics. But if they choose to descend into the arena of controversy, then they know the consequences will be obvious. So we are advising Nananom to conduct themselves, as many of those who are involved should conduct themselves as chiefs of all the contestants and not to enter into this arena of controversy. Because if you present yourself as a politician, we will treat you as a politician. If you present yourself as a competitor, we treat you as competitor. If you present yourself as a contestant, the other contestants will treat you as such. And I don't think it will be good for us, because the provision in the Constitution barring chiefs from participating in this active politics has at least served our democracy that far. And so we are advising Nananom to take note of that and contribute their quota by way of peace building rather than entering the arena of controversy. Now, I heard my junior brother Afenyo Makin, who, having rejected the position of minority leader, is now on his way to becoming a micro-minority leader. Bragging that he belongs to a party of rule of law and all that. Who doesn't know about MPP? We in the National Democratic Congress don't need lectures from Afenyo Makin about democracy at all. Indeed, if there were any need for lectures in impunity, then we will invite him as our lecturer. But if it is about democracy, he must shut up. He should go back to his region and take stock of his parliamentary candidates who have been shooting and killing people, his party people who have been shooting and maiming people across the country. We are quiet not because we are going to sleep over this. We are sending notice that all this violence, right from 1996, 2016 to date will be properly investigated, and our electoral system and democracy will be cleaned of these violent states. Immediately we take over. And so anybody who is thinking about abusing these 3 weeks, abusing his power during these 3 weeks to create any problem, he must know that there will be consequences for him after the takeover. We want to thank you all, and may God bless our homeland, Ghana.
Okay, please.
No, we want. Well, if you want to ask any questions, you are free to do so that.
CID director is dodging the injunction you sent. I posted on CTFF. It's on notice. Computer, the CID director is blocking the service of the injunction.
Okay, thank you. The next question, please. TV3.
Yeah, so just to find out from you if you've informed the IGP about what is happening at the police training school, because as the head of the police service, he should be.
Okay, right. Next
so what happens to the constituencies that have been redeclared?
Redeclaration of the new constituencies. So,
yes. General, you just told us that.
Oh, don't worry. I'm still General. Go ahead.
You just told us that the process ongoing at the police training school, the NDC as a party was not informed.
Yes.
You've come to the conclusion that you are placing an injunction on the whole process. Did you arrive at this conclusion because at a point the NDC as a party realized that members or your candidates who were declared winners are now turning to be losers? Was that the position? Is that the position of the NDC?
Okay, no. All right. Yes, GH1.
Yes, so you're saying that, but we've seen that, and that results must be declared at the constituency. But we've seen that other results were declared at the EC regional office here in Accra. Do you still hold the same position on that?
All right. All right, so that will be all.
Yeah. Well, you can run, but you cannot hide. This is notice that we are giving them. We are putting the whole country on notice. So if an individual officer knows that he is conducting himself well according to law, why would you be running away from service? So the fact that they are running away from service means that they intend to become fugitives of the law, and you know what it means when you get arrested. The injunction application has already been served on the Electoral Commission. So the one who received the service is Daniel Nyamiche at the headquarters of the Electoral Commission. So the Electoral Commission has been served. Bosman Asare, Dr. Bosman Asare has acknowledged receipt of the application, and the director of CID, Faustina Adoagyiri, appears to ignore the process and has asked the EC to continue. So if Adoagyiri is allowing the process to continue, she would bear the consequences of her action. And the rest of the questions, it has been answered. I'm saying that, look, if you all sign a declaration here that we are going to commit crime, does that make the commission of the killing of the person legal? It does not. It's conspiracy to commit crime. And they can deal with all of you. And I'm saying, as leader of this party, that I'm not involved in anything that has, arrived at any consensus to do anything anywhere. And when there is a declaration, nobody can do any other declaration. You resort to court. If Afenyo Markin is listening, you go to court. All these charges about I declared under duress and so on, they will be part of the evidence that you will lead in court, that I did this under duress. And then the elements of duress will be investigated, the particulars of the duress will be investigated. And then it will take the court to make a pronouncement on your claim. So you can't say that an electoral officer has told you that he declared the results, but he was pressurized to declare it. So you are going to call that person to come and recollate and redeclare. It hasn't happened anywhere. If that is the case, the process will go on ad infinitum, because anybody in any of the constituencies can come out and claim that he or she was asked to declare under duress. So what do? You have to go and open up. That is why the law is very, very clear that once the declaration has been made, you can only question that declaration in the court of law. And in the case of parliamentary, it's the High Court. So you proceed. And we have precedences, several precedences of this. Techima himself, only in 2020, it was after the declaration, we brought all the pink sheet down here to the Electoral Commission headquarters in Accra. Our MPs who led the work to present those documents were beaten up by the police. And the Electoral Commission said, you should go to court. Even where we have all the figures and the tally indicate that the officer there was wrong. So we went to court. So what has changed? And incidentally, they are now talking about the same Techima Nsaf, where they are claiming that some declaration was done wrongly. So now they are calling to now recollate and redeclare. So it's like when it falls this way, then it is not allowed. But when it is that way, then it is allowed. In 2016, when we complained initially about the results that were being collated, collation had not ended. Presidential collation had not ended. Peace Council members came to President Mohammed's office and sought to find out from us what we thought they could do, because we had addressed the press that wrong things were being done. So they followed up to President Mohammed's office to try to find out whether they could be of any help, because they heard us appealing to them. And we said that, look, the pink sheets are there. Things that are being done, we believe, are wrong. So can we all meet at a place, MPP, NDC, in the presence of external observers? Then we all go through the collation, and whatever the figures will come out, we will all accept. That was where they were talking about, and changing figures, talking and changing figures. So we said, let us deal with this thing once and for all. Can we all meet and resolve it? Peace Council agreed to go and consult the other side. Indeed, they went to consult the Electoral Commission, and they consulted MPP, and they consulted the external observers, and they actually gave us a time, I think 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, for all of us to meet at Kempinski Hotel for this exercise to be done. That was where collation had not completed, but we found serious problems with what they were, the figures they were announcing. And that was the reason the Electoral Commission invited our agents from the strong room to be briefed about in her office. And so when they had that information, they were now proceeding to go and see President Mahama so that we will all reconverge at the Kempinski Hotel for the exercise that we all agreed to undertake. When they were on their way to President Mahama's office, Jim Mensah was declaring results. And the claim was that if we didn't agree to anything, we should go to court. We went to court asking her to come and mount the witness box and tell us the basis of her declaration, because we have had about 4 or 5 different set of figures that has been announced. So we can only get to the bottom when she tells us what figures total which results she declared. Our case was simple. Because you have declared results. And we said that give us the figures whose total come up to that result. And the court blocked her from accounting to the nation and turned around to say that we who were demanding that she should tell us the total of her work, we should rather bring our pink sheets. What they are doing now, subsequently, when we brought pink sheets in the case of some constituency election results, as we did in Techiman, Electoral Commission managed to produce some figures which were completely different from those they had signed to and given copies to us. So this conduct is undermining a key transparency measure. Where we are going now, and by the ruling of the Wenchi court in the case of the Techiman issue, is that even if you are holding a pink sheet signed by Electoral Commission, it's useless. If Electoral Commission is able to get another pink sheet whose figures are different, then you must go according to Electoral Commission's figures. So what check would the political parties have against the Electoral Commission officials themselves engaging in fraud? Nothing. So it's a major issue we will be addressing in the next government to make sure that we restore the credibility of the Electoral Commission and the confidence Ghanaians had in our commission before the advent of Madam Jane Mensah. So I think we have, and then somebody was saying because we did what? It is neither here nor there. If we want to follow it, because me, if I went round and everywhere that we lost, I bring them and say that, okay, the declaration, my claim is that the declarations were done under duress. What will prevent them from recollating? It will be a chaotic situation. So it's not about anybody winning or losing. In fact, all the constituencies they are dealing with there, I don't think any of them is in our tally as at now, but we still have won, over 180 something seats. So we are just looking for the right things to be done according to law. It's not about winning the election. They themselves, even before the declaration of the result, they themselves had come to tell us that they have lost. But it is not about winning or losing. It's about making sure that the democratic process is followed. And that is why we are doing what we are doing. So thank you very much. We have already crossed two-thirds majority. And nothing can change that one. But we still want to insist that the right thing is done, because the mandate of the people in those various constituencies also matter.
So the last one. It's a very important one. Like I said, you've gone to court, and the process happens in that. Malik on Facebook is organizing 5,000 at the police station. Can you, in a way, for the peace of the nation?
You're what?
Malik Basantelli on his Facebook says 5,000.
I'll give you Malik Basantelli's number.
I know it's problem. Some of you will be going to view, so just hold on a little. The media should just hold on a little for us. Thank you very much. The rest can please step up.
That was the national chairman for the National Democratic Congress, NDC, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, addressing the media regarding the ongoing recollation of results or disputed results for some constituencies across the country. Well, the NDC has made it clear that it has sought an injunction application, which same process has been served on the Electoral Commission. The NDC, through its national chairman, Asiedu Nketia, says that Deputy Chair of the Electoral Commission, Dr. Bosman Asare, has acknowledged receipt of the service. And so any ongoing collation will be an illegality and subject for contempt of court. We also do know, because earlier we brought you live pictures from that collation center at the National Police Training School here in Accra, where the Nsawam Adoagyiri constituency results are being recollated. And as you can see there, scenes from that collation center earlier today, where there was a scuffle between representatives of the two parties, had to take the intervention of the Ghana Police Service and, of course, General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, Justin Frimpong, bring some level of sanity to the place. So we'll be bringing you more updates here on Channel 1 Television, the Election Bureau, as we get to them. My colleague Fred, who is still stationed at the Collation Center at the National Police Training School, will go there live as and when we have updates for you. What we are waiting to see is whether that injunction has been served on the Member of Parliament for Nsawam Adoagyiri, the Honorable Frank Ano Dompre.